Welcome back to Focus today. We're talking a little bit about immigration with some of our guests, and one of the issues has to do with some surprising information. The Dallas News reporting that Dallas and Houston are considered as new migrant shelters. They're saying monthly apprehensions now of those who are immigrants coming through or trying to could reach 100,000, and that's just in that one area, I'm assuming, because we've got a huge long border there, but they're focusing on Dallas and Houston. William Gheen is with us. He's the president and national director for the Americans for Legal Immigration PAC. And we're talking about these types of issues and the whole catch and release program and so on. William, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
When I mentioned this story, about 100,000 apprehensions expected in a month, I'm surprised at this number. I've never thought it was this high. Does this surprise you at all?
Well, what's surprising about it is the American public did our very best to secure the border and get illegal immigrants leaving the country in the 2016 elections. And that's what we're getting right now is the opposite. Illegal immigration is now higher and worse under President Donald J. Trump than it was under Obama and under G.W. Bush. They are estimating between 1 and 1.5 million illegals will flood the country this year alone. And the reasons those numbers may go even higher, it's estimated that over 1 billion people on the earth will come to the United States if allowed to. The word is out across the entire country, the entire world, from Asia to Africa to South and Central America, that the defenses and borders of the United States have been sabotaged from within, and that they're not stopping anybody. Our Border Patrol is acting like an Uber service for the drug cartels. Illegals are even complaining now that it takes the Border Patrol too long to pick them up sometime. A wall offense would not stop anyone because the current presidential directives, not the laws, not the courts, but the presidential directives are to catch and release, and that is what the Border Patrol is doing. And as long as our Border Patrol continues to only catch illegal immigrants and escort them into the United States and release them, but within a week they're having their education, health care, food and housing and cell phones paid for by other people in the United States, we're never going to be able to turn it off until we can start deporting large numbers of illegals like President Eisenhower did.
Well, the president has said he doesn't like the idea of catch and release, but the Border Patrol say, hey, we don't have much of an option because we can't house all these people. So it's kind of a problem there of saying we don't like it, but we kind of have to do it still. Do you have a solution for another option?
Oh, most definitely. The president says a lot of things, and we supported him because of the things that he said in 2016. Our organization no longer endorses President Trump because he has broken promises or unfulfilled over 10 major promises on immigration issues, including keeping Obama's DACA amnesty active, not ending catch and release, supporting amnesty bills, signing an amnesty bill on February 15th and the secret budget bill, and I could go on. The 11 different promises that Trump has broken on immigration are in our announcement section at alipac.us. Yes, the president should order Border Patrol immediately to end catch and release and to keep all fake asylum seekers and illegal immigrants at the border or in a border detention facility or backed up into Mexico until they can be deported as rapidly or returned to their homelands. As long as illegal immigrants are allowed to achieve their objective of invading the United States of America, more will come. If you reward a dog for peeing on your floor and give him a piece of steak every time he does it, he's going to do it more. You can't give people what they want and expect to deter the behavior that you don't want. Our existing immigration laws are designed to do this. The president just needs to fully implement all of our existing immigration laws, including cracking down on employers, which he's not doing, deporting illegal immigrants from within the United States, which very little is going on about, sending a very clear message that illegals that come here will not be rewarded. They will not be allowed to stay. The existing laws allow the president to do that, and no one judge has the ability to, we're not under the rulership in the United States of America of a lone activist judge. The other thing is the president has Article 4 of the United States Constitution, which requires him in his oath to protect all states from invasion. All of our states are suffering this invasion. The president acknowledges this is an invasion. Thousands of Americans are being killed each year by this invasion and countless others losing their jobs and communities. This invasion needs to stop, and the president has the full force of the United States military to do so. It's time for him to invoke Article 4 and stop this invasion, because soon many of these illegals will be voting in 2020. Even though it's a felony for them to do so, there are no safeguards to prevent illegal aliens and other non-citizens from registering to vote and voting in elections. They'll be voting for the Democrats here in about a year and a half.
Well, now he has said that threatened, of course, to shut the border down. Do you think that's what it sounds like you're saying that's what he should do right now?
Well, he doesn't have to shut down the whole border. He just has to order Border Patrol to end the catch and release policies. Catch and release is a presidential directive. It is not a law. No one ever voted for catch and release. No member of Congress ever voted for catch and release. No judge has ordered these illegals to be caught and released. This is a presidential directive from the Bush and Obama era that Donald Trump has continued, and he can change it today with a memo, not or an executive order, or just an order to the Border Patrol that catch and release ends today. He promised that he would do this in his election, and it's one of the things that he hasn't fulfilled as far as his immigration promises. So yes, you keep saying that Trump says this and Trump says that. Donald J. Trump says a lot of things, but when it comes down to what actually happens, we're seeing now him do things opposite from what he told us he was going to do during the election, as evidenced by his signature of an amnesty bill on February 15th, his endorsement of amnesty bill H.R. 4760 last year, and the current amnesty bill that he has his son-in-law Jared Kushner supporting, Senate Bill 874, the DREAM Act amnesty, which would give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. These amnesty bills, even if they don't pass, even if my organization is successful at stopping the amnesty bills for an 11th time, that still encourages the illegals, because all the Spanish media from Mexico, point south and around the world is like, United States senators consider amnesty bill for millions of illegal immigrants. And it's like, come on in. The United States has no enforcement credibility. We have no enforcement credibility. The word is out around the entire planet that our defenses are down, sabotage from within. We're wide open. Anybody that wants to come here, North Korea wants to send in troops. It's easy to do. Saudi Arabians want to send in special tactical units. It's easy to do. A terrorist in Bangladesh wants to walk into the United States. It's easy to do. A child molester or a rapist from Brazil wants to walk into the United States. It's easy to do. The Border Patrol will pick them up and escort them in.
Well, now, going back to catch and release, April 6th of last year, he did sign a directive saying that he wanted to stop it, and he ordered the immigrant groups, to State Defense, Homeland Health, and Human Services to stop that particular practice. But you're saying it hasn't stopped yet?
It hasn't happened. Part of the reason is that he's left a lot of the Obama official and middle managers. Our Border Patrol has complained about this. Their superiors, the people who are actually running the Border Patrol, the middle managers, are all Obama-era appointees who are bound and determined to get as many illegal alien / future current illegal alien voters. The Democratic Party, this is how they took control of California. This is how they took control of California through the Reagan amnesty of 1986 that turned 3 million illegals into Democrat voters. We know they turned into Democratic voters. The studies are there. California is there. California doesn't oscillate anymore between blue and red and purple. It's a solid blue socialist state that is, the future of the rest of the country if another amnesty bill passes, or if the current hyper levels of illegal immigration compared with the largest numbers of legal immigrants. My organization is named in support of legal immigrants, but we support more traditional, lower immigration levels than the current 1.5 million per year. Trump campaigned on lowering immigration levels. Now he's telling audiences and people that he wants to raise legal immigration levels and increase immigration into the country. That's not what the American public wants. The American public wants that border secured, illegal immigrants sent home, and legal immigration levels returned to more traditional levels. Donald Trump promised all these things to us. Donald Trump is not delivering. It's time for us to hold Donald Trump accountable for both his oath of office and his campaign promises. And if people want to see him reelected in 2020, we really need your help to put the pressure on the president about this, because if he doesn't change his ways soon, millions of Americans like me just won't be there for him in 2020.
Well, could it be that that's why Kirstjen Nielsen is gone now, that maybe she wasn't as active as he would have wanted her to be in these types of areas? Do you think that's, and several other high officials also are gone too. Do you think that's what's going on with the shakeup at Homeland Security right now?
Well, I do believe that there's a good chance that pressure from groups like ours at ALIPAC and others may have helped lead to Kirstjen Nielsen being removed from DHS. But that being stated, Kirstjen Nielsen should have never been the head of DHS in the first place. She has no law enforcement experience to begin with, and she's a Bush-era pro-amnesty for illegal immigrants, open borders advocate from the Bush administration. She should have never been put in front charge of DHS. She's been in charge of DHS, and our borders have remained unsecured and open just like under Bush and Obama, and that should surprise no one. Another problem with Donald J. Trump is that instead of hiring a lot of the hardliners that got him elected, he hired Jeff Sessions for a little while. He never hired Joe Arpaio. He never hired Chris Kobach. He never hired Laura Ingraham or Ann Coulter or Michelle Malkin. These voices that gave Trump credibility on the issue that won him the race, illegal immigration, they were never hired and deployed to do things. Instead, he's hired some of the worst swamp creatures that are in D.C. that support amnesty and globalism, all the things that he conned us or told us or convinced us that he was against. He surrounded himself with. There's only one guy left in the White House that's on our side on immigration, and that's Stephen Miller. And we're thankful he's still there. But Stephen Miller's swimming around in a cabinet full of pro-amnesty illegal immigration facilitators.
Well, what do you think of the person now, McAleenan, who's taking over, at least interim, the Homeland Security position? Is he a person? He's from law enforcement and all that. Is he a person who would be taking your agenda and moving it forward, do you think?
We're going to take a closer look at him. If I had been president, I would have put Sheriff Joe Arpaio in charge of the border. I would have sent a clear message to illegal immigrants, current and future, around the world that we're not going to put up with anymore. I would give Joe Arpaio a very limited amount of funds because it wouldn't take him much to set up similar tent cities to what he did with the his jail cells or jail cities in Phoenix, Arizona. And I would send a very clear message. I don't think that the new DHS director sends a very clear message. And I don't think the president's sending a clear message. He threatens to shut down the border, then he doesn't want to do it. He promised us he was going to end birthright citizenship just before the last election. He wanted to stir people up. He said, I'm going to end it. I found out I can end birthright citizenship with an executive order. The election came and went. Never heard anything else about it. There's a long history here of Trump saying things and not fulfilling those promises. And the illegal aliens and the drug smugglers know this. When Trump was elected, illegal immigration in our border dropped by 90% to a historic low for the first 6 months, as the drug smugglers and illegal aliens expected Trump to fulfill his campaign promises and crack down on the border. He never did. The opposite is happening. Illegals are being facilitated and brought into the country by Border Patrol agents, and amnesty bills and amnesty deals with illegal immigrants are the talk of the day in D.C. instead of doing what it takes to crack down on this. And so now we have more illegals crossing than ever before.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, Joe Arpaio would be a very interesting nomination. We'd have to see. He would bring out the positives and negatives of people for sure. There's no doubt about that. He would be an interesting character there. William Gheen's with us. Give me an idea. Website. Where can people go to find out more?
We'd like to get people on our email alerts. We never share your information, and we're currently fighting to stop amnesty bills in Washington, D.C.
Okay, we got 5 seconds. Go ahead. Where is it?
Alipac.us. That's ALIPAC.us.
All right. Thanks for being with us, William. And thanks for joining us on Focus today.